How's it going, guys? Welcome back, welcome back. I hope you guys are excited for this one because I have a video. Sorry for being away. I know I haven't posted a video in a few weeks. Unfortunately, life got in the way. I've got a baby coming in less than 10 weeks now, and Yorick got nerfed. Actually, pretty much more than anything, it was Yorick got nerfed. And the main reason that I went away and didn't come back for so long is because I knew Yorick was getting bug fixed. There was quite a few changes that I had sent to a writer, and I knew that he was looking at those changes specifically. And I can finally come and share it with you guys. There are bug fixes. So get excited because there is so many changes, and I'm thrilled to be able to show you every single one of you. So without further ado, hit that like button, hit that sub button, and let's go through the changes. Now, you can see I'm running Conqueror down there. Now, Conqueror is probably been one of the best runes for Yorick. In the past, you've had to conquer a bug. And what Conqueror bug is, it's actually not a Conqueror specific bug. What it does is it utilizes having any rune or item that says 3 separate spell casts. Conqueror bug basically utilizes that. And what it means is that when you cast your ult like this, it brings 2 ghouls. Each of these ghouls was previously considered the same as the maiden because they were summoned at the same time. They were one spell. So whenever you had them attack a champion, they would only give 1 Conqueror stack because these ghouls are considered the same thing, right? What this new change has done is it means any time that the ghouls attack anything and they have been summoned regardless of how you summon them, they give independent stacks. So no more, the Conqueror bug is dead. You do not need to do it. It is on by default. This means your Yorick Q and your Yorick E, if you're in lane and you're raising ghouls, they will all be separate instances. They will all stack Conqueror separately. That is insane. I can't think of a single reason you wouldn't run Conqueror next patch. There's just no reason. You need to be taking Conqueror next patch. This change alone will basically mean that if you land a single E, you're very likely to stack Conqueror instantly. And that is enormous. That is such a positive change. Get ready because it's going to be Conqueror every single game. Now, 2 things to note. Number 1 is Maiden still doesn't stack Conqueror. So if you look at the amount of stacks I've got 0. There's 1, 2, 3 units here, but I only have 4 stacks because Maiden does not stack Conqueror. I can't guarantee you that she's going to be changed to stack Conqueror. Unfortunately, it's just one of the current way that she's coded is she's not coded to directly stack it. And I don't know if that's been changed. And to be honest, I'm perfectly fine if it doesn't. Right now, as it is, you can pretty much guarantee 10 stacks off a single E because you land the E, that's 1, you throw 4 ghouls, and that's 4. And that's 4 times 2, so it's 8. So you land at 10 stacks. So you'll see if I get rid of all my minions, I up myself to level 12. Level 12, sorry. Level 16. Let's get rid of all the minions. And if I do this and I chuck my E at max range, you're going to see I get 10 stacks. There you go. So you can see 10 stacks instantly off a single E. That's pretty good. And that leads me into my second update. So there's actually a second Conqueror bug being fixed. And not many people knew this was a thing. But the way Conqueror works is you can see that every spell can get a new stack every time they attack or you land the spell. For most champions, that's because if you're playing Annie and you land a Q, you can follow up with your W, and then you've got 2 stacks on each, and then you're waiting for your next Q to come around. But then you've got champions like Yorick, where my ghouls stack at each auto. They needed to do something to make it so that each auto didn't actually stack it. They needed to put a cooldown of how often that stacks can be gained. Otherwise, if I did this, I'd have max stacks in 2 seconds because the second attack they do would instant stack Conqueror. So what they did is they gave a 5-second cooldown that ghouls can stack Conqueror. The only problem is Conqueror lasts 5 seconds. So they made it a 5-second duration and a 5-second cooldown. So ghouls could never really get their next attack in before the Conqueror expired unless they all staggered their attacks. And what I mean by that, it's a bit confusing to explain, but if I do this, you can see this ghoul attacked before this one did. So that means this ghoul's cooldown refreshed faster than that one. So it can actually benefit, or in the past, it benefited because it actually timed the attacks to reduce the cooldown at different intervals. Now what they've done is they've made the cooldown from 5 seconds to 4. So now your ghouls have a 1 second window to get that extra attack in, and they can actually stack Conqueror. So if I get rid of all my Ghouls on me right now, like this, and I do this, and then let's go like this, and summon Maiden, you can see they're going to attack, and they're going to go 8 stacks. Normally, what would have happened last patch is this would have gone away at 8 stacks, and that's the max they would have been able to get. But now you can see we're going up to max stacks. So probably the most underrated change next patch is this. You're going to see your Conqueror numbers insanely higher, just because you're going to have Conqueror much more often, because this change is going to keep the upkeep. So that is insane. Now, third change of the patch. And boys, I'm so excited for this, but Maiden stacks Shojin. Thank fuck for that, because I was so sick to death of Maiden not stacking Shojin, because it made it basically useless on us. But now look at that. You can see Shojin is stacking off Maiden's attacks. As long as Maiden stays attacking, your Shojin will stay at 4. Now remember, this works for the jungle item. This works while you're jungling. You can cast your E and your Maiden will stay and attack that camp after you leave it. And they'll keep that damage being amplified off your Ghouls, off everything. Such a good change. The next thing to talk about is this rune. Now, Axiom Arcanist is the new sorcery rune. It actually replaces not your keystone, but the first row. The one that has Nullifying Orb and Mana Flow Band, right? Now, this rune works on Maiden. So what it does is your Maiden has 12% increased damage. She's not AoE. She's actually 12%. So that's very good. She also has increased healing. Now, I'm just thinking, does the increased healing mean her regen is higher? I'll need to check and see what it looks like. It also has a second effect. Now, you can't see it because my camera's blocking it, but it says scoring a takedown on an enemy champion reduces your ultimate's current cooldown by 7%. Now, important thing to understand about this rune here is that the bonus damage works, and it works on Yorick's attacks. So you see how it has when Maiden damages the target, when Yorick damages the target of the Maiden hits, it deals 3% max health damage. That is amplified by this. So if you can attack the same target, this damage will go up, which is positive. That's massive. The only problem with this rune is that the ultimate cooldown reduction does not work if Yorick's Maiden is out. Now, that is a little annoying. So if your Maiden's out and you get a kill, if you when the Maiden eventually dies, it won't be reduced by 7%. If it did work, I would probably say this rune would be pretty good. Now, I'm not going to tell you that this rune is God, you must buy it, you must take it every game, because I think this rune is very bait. I think there is something about this rune. I played one game on PBE and the numbers just aren't there. You underestimate how much your Maiden attacks until you actually go in a VOD and watch it. And you watch her get auto-staggered. You watch her try to chase a target. She goes to attack and then the target moves a centimeter and she goes, oh fuck, I can't attack anymore. And then walks back after it. I think this rune is bait. At the moment, I'm not convinced. But you know what? I hope I'm wrong. Personally, I don't think you take this rune. If you're playing top Yorick, I think you're probably going to run Conqueror plus Resolve to get Demolished, because Demolish is just blatantly OP on Yorick. And if you're running jungle, I can see not running this. I think secondary of running of the Domination tree and getting the new warding one where it extends your wards in the enemy jungle by 30 seconds. I think that will be MVP. I think you'll take that every single game. But I don't know. I don't think it's bad. It's just I would need to see numbers on it. I just don't see the numbers. If you don't know already, you can hold shift and it tells you your bonus damage dealt with this. So you can't see it because my camera is blocking it. But right about here, it says I've done 6,500 damage. So this actually does work really well. And it's good when Riot shows numbers like this because we can actually quantify how good these items are. So, like, Conqueror, I can't see shit. It tells me the healing, that's fuck all. I want to know the damage. How much damage has this done? They've come out in the past and said they can't actually show it because the calculation is too complicated. But whatever, I don't care. It looks like it should be good, so I definitely would say run it every single game. Now, there's another new item. It's a new AP item. It's this bad boy. Actually, before I get into that, I know Mara Mivs is probably going to catch up this video. Mivs, you're welcome. Malignance works again. As a consequence of Maiden stacking this, she now applies Malignance. So, AP Yorick, you're back in the menu. She still stacks up with Leandries, and that goes into my next play. This new item. Okay, so what it does is when you deal magic damage, you gain 5% magic penetration. Maiden stacks this, so every time she attacks, you can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you get it. Now, it only goes to you. It's not like Cleaver. It's not a shred. It only goes to you. But the burn effect of these is increased by the shred effect. Not the shred, sorry. The magic penetration of this. The difference, though, is these can't actually stack it. Okay, so keep that in mind. Just because you have burn damage and magic damage on these two, it won't stack it. It's only the Maiden's attacks and Yorick E that can stack this rune. So keep that in mind. It's a very important thing to understand and remember. Apart from that, I don't think there's any other actual changes that I wanted to run through. The only thing I wanted to point out as well is that there are these new boots augments. So you can see each of these boots can upgrade one more time. Now, if you don't know already, the way that you upgrade them a third time is you need to get 2 of the 3 of either First Blood against a champion, First Blood Tower, or first to 3 objectives. Now, when it says first to 3 objectives, it means first 3 of these or first dragon. One of the 2, right? One of these boots in particular is very interesting. And I'm going to put you on a quiz right now. Have a think about it. Which one do you reckon it is? And I'll answer the question right now. It's this one. This one here, if you haven't seen already, you get 25 ability haste, you get 50 movement speed. So it's a better version of Boots, because Boots gives 45 and 10. But the important thing is this bottom bit. Empowering or protecting allies with abilities, or dealing damage to an enemy champion with abilities. Grants 10% movement speed. So, yes, if ghouls attack a champion, you get 10% movement speed. Now, don't do what I did. Understand it's only champions. It's not minions. So you can't have your ghouls attack a jungle monster and then you run around the map at 10% movement speed boost. It's only if you hit a champion. And bear in mind, because it's percentage increased movement speed, your ghouls and your maiden will not get it. If you don't know already, the only way your ghouls and maiden get movement speed bonuses is if it's a flat movement speed. So you can see the maiden right now, or actually we'll go with ghouls. Ghouls right now have 385 movement speed. That is because when Yorick is nearby the ghouls, they get 60 bonus movement speed. So you can see that's the plus 60. So if I buy boots right now, they're going to get, and I go next to them, 427, because it's increasing it by 45, and I must have something that's increasing it by another 2%, or a small percentage. But if I then go ahead and I buy, let's say, a Zeal, for example, because Zeal gives primarily only percentage movement speed, and I sell all my items, and I get rid of all this, you're going to see the ghouls still only have 427, despite Yorick now running at 453. Apparently it's intended, it's actually specifically written in the code that ghouls are not to benefit from percent increased movement speed. I don't know why it's a balancing issue, but apparently it matters. So for the time being, the upgrade of this should be pretty decent, but I would probably look to upgrading into either, look, even the Sorks is just nuts. 10% magic percent is insane. And the armor boots gives you a shield against physical champions. Like, that's bloody insane. These boots are all broken. I don't see any way that you can limit this to one team. It's just too strong. These are way too strong. Apart from that, just let me have one more quick squiz and have a look. Oh yeah, no, there is one more thing I wanted to showcase. And for that, you're going to have to buy with me for a few seconds while I fast forward it. So there's a new jungle monster, okay? Now the Baron no longer spawns at 20 minutes, it spawns at 25 minutes. Instead at 20 minutes, you have a new thing that spawns. That's this bad boy. Now this bad boy, I don't even know what its name is. I honestly have no idea what its name is. Does it say? Hang on, it does if I do this, I think. Atakhan. Okay, so Atakhan, when you kill it, it gives every single person on your team a one-time death prevention. And what that means is you won't die. Instead, you just teleport to base. This is specifically interesting for Yorick, because Yorick, when he dies, the maiden dies. But Yorick, if he doesn't die and teleports to base, means that the maiden doesn't die. And she actually teleports to base. And she just runs back after Yorick. Because if you get really far away from maiden, she goes into what I call super speed. Oh, fuck. And, you can then just... Oh, no. Am I getting... This is way too close. Yeah, she goes into super speed. So you see, right now, I have the anti-death. I enter stasis, and when I die the next time, Maiden will then run to the tower. So you can see, look at this. I port to the base, Maiden just comes running after you. Now, I've tested a few ways to abuse this with multiple Maidens. There's no way. I can't see any way that it works. Because it doesn't label you as in death, I don't know any way that Maiden can double Maiden here. But apart from that, if anyone finds anything interesting, let me know, because it sounds spicy as anything. It also does this thing with the flowers, where if you kill the flowers, you get a stack or something. It gives you this, and then every single one you get gives adaptive force and experience. I don't know, it's just some kind of bard mini game. I don't know, it's not too interesting. Apart from that, there isn't really any other changes that are pending or anything else that I know of. I'm going to try get Conqueror to work on Maiden. The only other thing to talk about, like I was talking about earlier, is the Demolish Runes. There's a change to the Demolish Runes. Out of all of them, I think the extra warding one, there's one that when you place a ward in the enemy jungle, it gets an extra health and extra HP. So that would end up getting full health, and it would last 130 seconds, 120 seconds instead. The reason I say that's so OP is because when you start, let's say you're playing jungle, if I come up here and I ward in this bush at a minute, that ward, instead of expiring at 2 minutes 30, will last to 3 minutes in. That's enough time to tell me if the enemy jungle has walked into their jungle topside. Because you would expect a slow jungle to path up here around about 2:30. So he could have done something down here and invaded there. But if it's a slow jungler, you don't know if he's just fucked his clear up and he's just about to pass through the mid lane before your ward expires. But if you're versing something like, I don't know, slow jungler, and I've warded here, if at 3 minutes he started here but he hasn't passed this ward, you can pretty much guarantee he's invaded your bottom side jungle, or he's ganking bot, or he's AFK. But either way, if you ward here level 1 and he hasn't passed this ward at 3 minutes, you know he's not in the top half of the map. And that is insane. That eliminates, if you start here and you have a ward there, that eliminates this entire half of the map. And to say he's not there anymore, he must be in the bottom half jungle down here somewhere. So playing for Vision, that is an insane rune, and I am so looking forward to trying it out. But anyway, thanks for watching, fellas. I will catch you in the next video. As soon as this patch hits live, you'll see me uploading again. I might do 1 or 2 videos of playing on PvE, and I'll keep you guys updated with how it goes. But hold tight, I'll be back soon, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.